on, everyone? Darkside Phil here, and welcome to the weekend preview for Sunday, April 15th, 2012. Although by the time you're seeing this, it may well be Monday, April 16th, depending on where your time zone is and where you are on planet Earth. Excuse me. Oh, I immediately got a frog in my throat there. Ugh. Okay, so for this weekend preview, we're going to do what we usually do, where we review and recap what's been going on over the past week, which, by the way, lots of interesting stuff, so stay with me. If you might have missed something this past week, I want to make sure you're up to speed on everything, because there was a lot of stuff that happened, even a couple surprises that I didn't plan on happening that I want to talk about in this video, okay? And then, I want to talk about what's coming up this week, which looks like it may be a pretty interesting week, with a couple things of variety mixed in, and I'll explain what I mean as we progress. So, first of all, before we even get started, there's a couple things I want to talk about before, recapping, and the first thing is TooManyGames. Now is officially the time I'm going to start hyping this up. Episode 3 of Project 7 is out. In 2 months' time, I believe it's exactly 2 months' time, actually. I think it's the weekend of June 15th to 17th. We will be attending the TooManyGames game convention just outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And we went last year, and last year, unfortunately, things didn't work out very well, and it was our own fault. We thought that we could actually drive up there in the morning on Saturday and make it relatively early because we had a panel set up, and we very foolishly assumed this, got into massive traffic, took 10 hours to get there, and missed our panel. And unfortunately, a lot of fans apparently had shown up and were asking for me at this event. A lot of them missed me, some of them stuck around, and as we arrived very, very late, I was able to meet some of them, and I am very appreciative of those fans that waited. However, it just didn't work out. It wasn't a great trip for us because the traffic, it was insane. This year, we are going all out. First of all, I'm very pleased to say we are on the featured guests list. There are 2 featured guests at TooManyGames so far. There's the Angry Video Game Nerd, and then there's myself, John Rambo, OJ, whoever's coming to represent ourselves from not only our YouTube channels, but also Project 7. And that's awesome that these guys reached out and said, would you like to be, a featured guest? I said, absolutely, and I'm actually there listed as a guest. That's really cool, and I thank them a lot. Lots of cool stuff we're going to be going on at TooManyGames. You're going to have video game tournaments, a couple of which I'm going to participate in. I think I'm actually going to be in, there's Bust-A-Move 2 and also Street Fighter Cross Tekken. I may participate in those tournaments. I haven't decided yet, but I'm looking like I may do at least one of them. There's going to be concerts. Lots of video game bands, or cover bands, and these kinds of bands are showing up and are going to be performing concerts on Friday night and Saturday night. So that's really interesting. You're obviously going to be able to see things like my panel. You're going to be able to meet and greet with us. We're actually going to we decided we are going to get a vendor table at TooManyGames, so just like what we did at MagFest, where we were selling the Project 7 t-shirts, we're going to be a little different this time, because unlike back at MagFest, we actually have several episodes of Project 7 under our belt. We'll be able to show people on the laptop the episodes, and they'll be like, oh wow, that looks really funny, or that looks really good, here you go, here's a card, go check it out for yourself, and by the way, here are the shirts. Or if fans, who didn't get a chance to meet us at MagFest, we haven't really been doing anything since then, convention-wise, will be able to come out and meet us, maybe grab some Project 7 merch. And OJ will also be there. Possibly he'll have some candles, but he may be too busy to actually do new ones for this event. Also, there's some other cool stuff going on at this convention, including a VIP event that's going to be going on Saturday night, where the mini-bosses are going to do an exclusive concert for the staff, the featured guests who are us, and 100 people who get this special VIP pass. And it's going to be really fun. There's going to be a game tournament, or not game tournament, a games night where we're going to go across the street to this Arnold's Family Fun Center. And it has things like skee ball and all kinds of fun stuff like that. There's going to be food, and then there's going to be this mini bosses concert. If this sounds good to you, I urge you to go to the TooManyGames website right now and hurry up and go over there, because I believe they're only taking 100 people for this special event on Saturday night, and you don't want to miss out. So, TooManyGames, it's going to be a great event, and I'm really looking forward to it, especially since it's been several months since we got to do anything like this. MagFest was the last thing. We've been so busy, we haven't even had really time to look into other conventions and such in the area. And I'm pumped for it, and I'm really looking forward to going to TooManyGames. So check it out at TooManyGames.com, and more on that coming as we get closer, but I'm going to start hyping it now so that everyone knows about it, okay? So check it out. Alright, so now let's get back to business as usual. The only other thing I want to mention is that there is a new episode of the KingOfHate.com forecast. I actually said forecast. I'm an idiot. Podcast. The King of Hate podcast. Now this podcast is done by basically forum members from thekingofhate.com, which is my website. And these are members of the King of Hate community who wanted to get together and do something constructive. They've started this weekly podcast, and this recent episode features a very in-depth interview with the Ariad Lord, who is a friend of mine, who we have hung out with at several different conventions. I've done some co-op gameplay with him, and he actually went to PAX East, and I did not get to. So he actually talks all about his experience at PAX East, all kinds of stuff. So definitely check that out. What I would say is, if you want information on it, go to my website, thekingofhate.com, go to the forum section. There's a whole section there about the King of Hate podcast, and from there you can find it in there, plus all of their old previous podcasts as well. It's a relatively new thing. They haven't been doing it for super long, but they are trying to get it started. They're trying to get some attention, so check that out, okay? Alright, so what did I do in this past week? Well, pretty unique week for a lot of reasons. First off, being that a week ago was my birthday, and I had spent that whole weekend with my girlfriend Panda Lee. So there really wasn't much footage that weekend to speak of, besides there was a Project 7 Episode 3 teaser trailer, and we did some not Dance Central, it was Star Wars Connect dance party footage, which people absolutely love. Massive positive feedback, some pretty good views on those videos. If you haven't seen them, I definitely recommend you check them out. They're fucking hilarious. Me and my girlfriend trying to dance to this stupid Star Wars, doing the Han Solo, and all kinds of fucking dumb shit. It's fucking crazy fun, okay? So really there was no footage on Monday. It was just, us doing that, and then, it was me actually rushing, as I mentioned in last week's video, to get a brand new car because my car was dying. It was pouring oil all over. The window was busted. It was a piece of shit. And so I was very busy on Monday, okay? So this past week, gameplay-wise, I started up Xenoblade Chronicles, which is a RPG, a Japanese RPG, for the Nintendo Wii. Came highly recommended. This game had already been out in Japan and Europe for quite some time, and it finally got a US release, and I wanted to check it out, especially because of all the recommendations. Now here's what I can say about the game. The game is very fun. The plot is extremely interesting. The combat is very interesting. The graphics are some of the best ever on the Wii. I have to say that, even though it is definitely, this is one of those games that screams, I want to be in HD, I want to be in high resolution with really detailed textures and all that, and the game does graphically get held back by the system it's on. But outside of that, no, the game is really good. This is kind of what I kind of wish where the Final Fantasy series had gone instead of where they've gone now. Now here's the thing. I didn't beat the game because it's extremely long, okay? And the view counts, let's be honest, the view counts on this series are kind of lackluster. They're just like usual. The first few parts, really big views, really decent views, and then it dwindles out. And the fact that I'm already in like up to part 70 or something in the playthrough, and supposedly I don't even know if I'm halfway done with the game yet. I think I finally got every character. I'm not even positive about that, but it looks like the game's going to be really long. It's going to take a few more days of me playing and dedicated to this game in order to beat it, which is fine. And I'm okay. Unlike with Final Fantasy, I am kind of okay that the views on this aren't exploding, okay? And the bottom line is this, and I've always been about this. I play games that I like. Or, in the case where there's a week with no games that are out, or no newer games, I might play a bad game, but it's for the sake of getting through it and kind of, sometimes my commentary can make a bad game entertaining. I think this playthrough is entertaining, but I think it's for a very specific audience. People who like JRPGs, who like drawn-out style games. I'll be honest with you. The first 3 hours of this game are extremely slow-moving, and after the first 3 hours, it picks up significantly. The combat actually becomes what it is for the rest of the game. At the 5-hour mark, you finally get a full party, in which case you get the combo attacks or chain attacks, and you basically, at 5 hours, the game goes into overdrive, and you finally picks up with the story, picks up with gameplay, and it's a shame that the game takes 5 hours, because for a playthrough, most people aren't going to stick around for 5 hours to finally have the game pick up the pace. So what I will tell you is this. This is going to be a good playthrough to watch if you want to watch a very, cool narrative game. You want to see cool monsters, cool boss fights. It's not the kind of game, if you don't have a lot of time to watch playthroughs, this is not the kind of game to watch, I'll be honest. It's very long, long-winded, a very slow start, although it does pick up. I understand that a lot of people right now are telling me they're still catching up on stuff from, like, some people are still watching Skyrim, telling me they're still watching the Skyrim playthrough. Some people I'm still watching Mass Effect. I'm still watching Silent Hill 2. I'm still watching all these old playthroughs. I can't invest my time into another long-ass playthrough. I understand if that's your situation. That's why I'm not going to complain about the views on this series. What I can say is this: I'm enjoying the hell out of the game, I'm going to keep playing the game, and I'm going to beat the game, regardless of the views I get on the videos. I think that the video should be getting more views, but being that the game basically was out in Europe and Japan already, that hurts it. The fact that it's a JRPG, the fact that it's a very long playthrough, I understand all the reasons why this is happening, so I will continue to play this game, but that's what my feeling is on the playthrough so far. So, I did about 70 parts of Xenoblade Chronicles, and I have been grinding significantly as well, off camera. So when I go back, I've leveled up several more levels. I should be able to blow through certain parts of the game, which is a good thing. In addition to just Xenoblade Chronicles, okay, we had a new fighting game that came out this past week called Skullgirls, and this was an Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation 3 downloadable title. I actually have some really positive feelings about the game. I think it's a very solid fighter. In my opinion, it's actually better than some of these mainstream fighters that have come out, like Ultimate Marvel 3. Like, this game blows that fucking game away, and I'm not even kidding. And when I mean that, I don't mean in terms of content. I mean, obviously that Marvel 3 is going to have way more characters and such. Just the basic gameplay of this game is better than that game. So, Skullgirls, so far I give it a good rating. What I've done is I've played through the story mode with 6 of the 8 characters that are in the game. This week, I am actually planning to do the final 2 characters so that we're going to have all the story mode gameplay, unlocked, and you'll be able to see it. And that's over on my fighting game channel, DSP Street Fighter, by the way. A lot of people ask, oh, what are you talking about? It's not here. All my fighting game footage always goes up on DSP Street Fighter, so go check that out if you haven't already. There will be more this week coming up. So, well, I'll mention that again, but anyway, Skullgirls footage over on DSP Street Fighter, check that out. Then, this past Friday, I did something really different, okay? There's a game that I tried out a couple weeks ago called Blacklight Retribution. It is a free-to-play PC game, okay? Completely free. And the business model for this game, basically, is you buy it, you play it, you use your points you earn in the game to unlock things. But if you want to permanently have things, meaning, if you can unlock a gun, but the gun may only be good for like 3 days. If you want to permanently get things, you have to pay money, real money for them. And that's obviously the business model of this game. Find your best loadout and then go actually buy it so you can permanently keep those things, okay? But the game is completely free to play and you never have to pay, okay? I did a fan appreciation day where I literally all day, starting at 1 p.m., ending at 9 p.m., did 6 different lobbies on this game with my fans. And it was a blast. So first of all, thank you to everyone who participated. I hope you enjoyed playing with me. I'm not very good at the game, but I still think the game's fun. And it was a lot of fun. So thank you. And I know there were a lot of people trying to get into the matches and that did not get in. I apologize for that. I knew that was going to happen because, people are competing for these spots. The game is only 8 on 8, so with only 16 spots, you're always going to have people who are competing to try to get into these lobbies. Even though I did the 6 of them, there are people who were still trying and never got in, okay? So I want to apologize for those who didn't get in. But I do want to say thank you for trying. And I hope you did enjoy at least the videos that I recorded at that time. And again, I had a blast. I love doing fan appreciation when I get a chance to do it. And I knew that the entire week being Xenoblade Chronicles, I needed to break it up, and that was a perfect way to break it up. That being said, people have already asked me, am I doing another one? Because they're kind of upset. A lot of people were upset they couldn't get in. And I do have to say one thing. There were some people who were kind of being greedy, who they played one session and immediately, oh, well, I'm going to go in the next session too. And because they knew that they got in the first session, obviously they must have like a good ping to me or whatever. So they knew if they tried to get into the next session, they'd have a good chance of getting in. And they did, and then they would keep playing. And what I have to say is, please, if you're participating in fan appreciation, don't be a hog and don't be greedy. Understand that other people want to play too. And if you're in every fucking session, it's ruining the game for people. Like, there are people who really want to play, and it's not fair that you get to play every time. And if I had control of the rooms, I would have kicked these people out. Unfortunately, there's no option to do that in this game. It's just kind of like everyone joins and then you just play the game. There's no one who has a kicking option or anything like that. And there are people, I do want to say thank you to the people who, when I did mention it in my very last set, there were like 4 or 5 people who have been playing with me before, and I said, listen, please leave, because that's messed up. You already had a chance to play with me. And a lot of them did leave and let new people in. So thank you for the people who understood and did that, okay? But the question is, am I doing it again? And the answer is, I'm not positive. What I will tell you is this. If I do it again, it will be again on this Friday. This Friday, we'll have no more Friday Night Blacklight. I'm not positive that I'm doing it yet. So what I want to tell you is there's a very strong possibility I'll be doing it, but more on that as we approach the weekend preview, or as we talk about the future, and I'll tell you about that, okay? So Blacklight Retribution, fan appreciation matches are up here on DSPGaming if you want to check out the game. And as I've said 1,000 times, if you're interested in the game, you can just download it for free. I'll put a link in the description of this video. There's links in the descriptions of all those videos as well, so check that out, okay? Then on Saturday, something very unique happened. John Rambo and I filmed a new edition of Smart Guys, okay? And then we had planned that we were going to do Star Wars Connect together. Well, it just so happens that we got a call from OJ, and OJ says, hey, guess what? I've got Chap and another one of our friends over here, and Chap is actually an actor who acted in Episode 3 of Project 7. He played Gaseous Snake, if you haven't seen it yet. And OJ is also in Episode 3 of Project 7. And he says, we're over here, and we're kind of, we want to watch the premiere of the episode. When's it going to be up? And we said, well, guys, you know, actually it's going to be up really late because we're going to do Star Wars Connect. We're going to upload that first, and then we're going to upload Episode 3 of Project 7. To which they said, oh, shit, well, that sucks. And we said, wait a minute, we got a brilliant idea. Why don't you guys just come over, we'll watch it together, and then we'll all do Star Wars Connect together. So that's exactly what we did, and we hadn't planned on doing that. So we screened the episode together, which we thought it looked amazing. I just want to give a massive shout out to Respect the Pack for doing the editing on that episode. It looks fucking great. In my opinion, definitely hands down the best episode so far. You can look forward to this quality of video editing and this kind of storytelling in the rest of the series. This is where we were going ultimately with the series. We get to the gaming world. Each world's going to be unique and different, and it's going to have a twist that's comical, and I'm trying to get my gaming powers back. That's the gist of the series. It's not the pilot where it was all inside jokes. It's not episode 2 where I'm just sitting there playing games. That was just a setup to the actual meat of the series. Now we're into it. So episode 4 is just going to be more of the same as episode 3. I think you're going to enjoy it, okay? So, that being said, they all came over here and we played Star Wars Connect's Jedi, I forget the exact name of it, but it's basically the story mode of the game. We played it together and it was fun as hell. The game is kind of repetitive and cheesy, but it was fucking great to have all these guys here. We're doing commentary, we're making jokes, we're making sex jokes about Yoda the whole time. The dude who fucking played, named him Sphincter Boy because his face looked like a fucking rippling anus. It was great. It was fucking funny. So if you have not checked out those videos, please do. I mean, they're fucking great. I've got nothing but positive feedback about them yet, but I think some people kind of skipped them because they were anxious to see Project 7, and also we hadn't announced up to then that the cast of Project 7, OJ and Chap, were actually going to be participating in those videos. So definitely check them out. They're fucking great. And then, after all that footage was uploaded, we did debut Episode 3 of Project 7. If you haven't watched it, what the fuck have you been doing? I mean, seriously. We got overwhelmingly positive feedback. We've got about 800 comments on the video right now. Everyone is happy, seems to be happy with it. A lot of people saying this is the episode that kind of is now reinvigorating their interest in the series, that maybe they didn't necessarily like episodes 1 and 2 that much, but they really like this episode. And that makes us feel good, because it makes us feel like the direction that we had for the series is the right direction, and it just had a little bit of a slow start with having to catch up speed with the explaining what's going on with the story and leading up to what's going to happen in these game worlds. But now that we're in the game worlds, people are loving it, and that's exactly what we wanted to hear, and we are thrilled to hear that. So thank you for all the feedback, and I do especially want to say thank you for the constructive feedback. What I'm seeing on the video is good feedback. Like, if people have negatives to say, they explain why. I really like the episode, but I think maybe I would like something a little bit longer. That's a great comment. As opposed to, this is too fucking short, it sucks monkey dicks. It's like, come on, man, you know? Or the other comments about how one person sucks ass and this and that. It's like, keep your negativity and shove it up your own ass. We wanted to have constructive criticism, and now we're finally getting it on this video, and it's amazing. So thank you to everyone for that feedback. We are going to take some of the stuff that you've said into consideration. It's unfortunate that during the production of the episode my voice did give out, and so there's actually one particular scene where you can audibly hear that my voice is fucked up, and there was nothing we could do about it, and it's unfortunate that happened, but it is what it is. And so I do want to let everyone know, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it took a month and a half for this, and some other people are like, oh, it's only 12 minutes long, you guys should do 20 to 25 minute episodes. Alright, listen, okay? This 12-minute episode, yeah, it did take a month and a half to make, and here's why. Because myself, John, and Howard had to get together and write the episode. We then had to type it up, We had to have a production meeting with Respect the Pack to explain all the things in the episode, and then we had to brainstorm because some things can't be done that we want to do, and some things can viably be done. And so we finally have this meeting and form an idea of exactly what this episode is going to be. Then we have to find actors for the episode, so we had to call in OJ and Chap, which, you know, takes some time. Can we arrange our schedules around when can we film and this and that? The other thing people don't realize is filming, you need to have a location secured, and special thanks again to Respect the Pack. They actually secured the filming location for this episode, which was amazing that they got this for us. And that takes time, and there's a lot of planning and time and effort. I spent an entire day of my weekend with Panda Lee in March shopping for the wardrobe for this episode. So I took a day out of my time with my girlfriend to find the wardrobe, okay? We are sacrificing our time to do this series because we love it and we want to do it. It's something different and it's fun for us. Understand, a lot of fucking time and sacrifice goes into making this series. It's not something that's our forte. It's not something that we're accustomed to doing, and it's definitely not our full-time job. My job is to play games and review them for YouTube. That's what I do. Respect the Pact, each one of those guys has their own individual jobs. John Rambo has his own stuff going on. Howard has his own stuff going on. We're all busy. We have our own lives. We're not doing this series full-time. It's not our full-time focus. So when we have chances to do stuff, we do it. Then, of course, when we film, it takes an entire day to film. And you have a mishap like what happened with my voice, and there's nothing you can do about it, which really sucks. Then it goes into post-production, which is very critical, because I'll tell you, there are actually a couple scenes in Episode 3, Project 7, that were completely edited out, because we felt that it made the show drag on, which was actually some feedback we definitely took out of Episode 2, where people said, gee, Phil, that montage of, you know, the gaming footage of your failing at games was too long. We took that to heart. Montage in this one was a lot shorter, but it was a lot more action-packed, a lot fast-moving, and it really worked. So we're taking your feedback, your positive, constructive feedback, and making the series better because of it. So a lot of editing needed to be done for this episode. And of course, as everyone I'm sure noticed, had the most graphical effects of any episode up to date. Takes a lot of time to do that. A lot of people were like, why didn't you put in more blood? Why didn't you do this? Because we did exactly what we could with the time we had. And dude, let me tell you, I respect the Pack. I respect those guys immensely. They spent the last day, I mean Friday night, they spent from 8 p.m. to 6 fucking a.m. editing this thing to get it finished in time for the weekend launch. So amazing work by those guys. I don't know how I can say anything more positive about them. I think they're amazing at what they do, and this is what they're doing in their free time. You know what I mean? I really hope that these guys get some good attention, and I'll tell you right now, if you like the series, go over there and check out their videos on their YouTube channel, Respect the Pact, and go subscribe to them. Show them your support, that you enjoy what they're doing, okay? So that being said, if you haven't seen Episode 3, go fucking check it out already. Now, this is why YouTube is annoying. It's been up for about 17 hours, and YouTube says it has about, like, 13,000 views, but then if you search for it, it says it has 20,000 views, but everyone knows that within the first 24 hours, the views are completely wrong. So who knows? Once it becomes a day or two old, the views might go from 20,000 to 50,000. You know what I mean? It's so annoying. It's been happening even with the trailers this week. All of a sudden, 40,000, 60,000 views. What? No, 20,000 people didn't watch it in the last hour. The website's just fucking stupid. It doesn't update the views properly. But I can tell from the thumbs up we're getting on the video. I can tell from the positive comments we're getting on the video that people are really liking it. So thank you for that. Please check out Episode 3. And by the way, feel free to watch the rest of the series, obviously, to refresh your memory before you watch Episode 3 so you know what's going on. Okay? So that's what I did the past week, and I've talked way too long about it. Let's talk about what's really coming up this week. First of all, Monday. I'm resuming Xenoblade Chronicles on Monday, okay? And I really want to get a chunk of time into the game. I want to really start progressing in the game story-wise. I get the feeling I probably got another 2 to 3 days to beat it, and I definitely think I'll have the time this week to do it. So Xenoblade Chronicles on Monday. Sometime this week, I will be doing, like I said, the final 2 story modes of Skullgirls over on DSPGaming. I'm not 100% on when I'm going to be doing it, but check out my Twitter. I always tell you on Twitter what I'm doing, and I'll let you know. They call me DSP on Twitter. I'll let you know when I'm going to be doing those story mode playthroughs. There's also the possibility of some online gameplay against people in that game, but that's a possibility. It's not a given. It's not definite, okay? On Tuesday, Sniper V2 Elite, I think it's called, comes out. It seems to be an interesting game, and a unique game, so I'll be checking it out. And That'll debut on Tuesday, okay? And I'm hoping it's not a super long game, that I could beat it within a couple days. And then I'm going to go back to Xenoblade Chronicles, okay? On Friday, there's a possibility I'll be doing more Blacklight Fan Appreciation. I'll tell you this right now. If I do more Blacklight Retribution Fan Appreciation, it's not going to be the whole day of 1 to 9 p.m. It may be 1 or 2 set sessions at a certain time. I will let you know as the week progresses what happens with that. If I am going to do it, I'll make a special video about it here. In addition to that, I will also tweet about it, so you'll know about it. And I'll make a thread on my website, thekingofhate.com. So there's 3 different ways for you to find out if I'll be doing more fan appreciation for Blacklight, okay? Also, on Saturday, John Rambo will be coming over once again, and we're going to be doing another episode of Smart Guys. We're going to be doing the House of the Dead 4 co-op. The House of the Dead 4 comes to PlayStation Network this week, and we're going to use the Move controllers to blow the shit out of the hordes of zombies. This is going to be a fun one, because neither of us have ever played this game. We've seen it in the arcades, but we never played it. So it's the first time we're going to be experiencing the game, and so we might be really surprised at what's going on and stuff. So I'm excited for that. So that's coming up for co-op on Saturday. In addition, what I'm thinking is if that doesn't take a long time, because traditionally the House of the Dead games aren't very long, what we might do is more Star Wars Connect. There's actually 2 modes we still haven't checked out. We haven't checked out the Rancor mode, and we haven't checked out the Pod Racing mode. So we may be doing those modes on Saturday, okay? There is one other possibility. We may be finishing X-Men Legends. That's right. After a hiatus because the game disc won't load the final stage, I went to a different game exchange store in Connecticut and I found a copy and I bought it. So there's a possibility we may finish X-Men Legends on Saturday. But I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. I'm not guaranteeing that. And then Sunday, Monday, kind of up in the air for me. It's probably going to be either more Xenoblade Chronicles if I haven't beaten it, or maybe some stuff that I haven't beaten yet. You know what I mean? I don't really want to start anything major because next week we actually do have 2 major retail releases for the first time in several weeks. Major ones that people are going to want to see. So I kind of don't want to, chance that I start something and I don't finish it in time. But I get the feeling that Xenoblade is going to be a longer game and it might take me a longer time to beat it. Plus, like I said, maybe I'll do some Skullgirls online play. You know what I mean? There's stuff lingering that I can do. So I'll let you know what I'm going to do those days as we approach them. But for right now, possibility of Xenoblade, possibility of Skullgirls, maybe more Sniper. I don't know, again, what kind of other, how long that game's going to be or how much gameplay it'll be. But it's going to be a jam-packed week, once again, of footage. So I hope that you're enjoying it. I hope that you'll give Xenoblade a chance if you haven't yet. It really is a good game. It deserves to be watched. It's a shame that people are to kind of pass. A lot of people are passing it by because either they've already seen it because the game's an older game, or because they're just too busy. They don't want to jump into a large or longer JRPG playthrough. I understand that, but the game deserves a lot of attention. It's a really good game. So that's that. Okay. So that's it for the weekend preview. A very long-winded one. Sorry about that, but a lot going on. Just to remind everyone, TooManyGames in 2 months. Check out their website, TooManyGames.com. Project 7 Episode 3, please watch it, please spread the word. Here's the other thing. If you like it and you think this is the best episode yet, this is the episode to show your friends. A lot of people said, well, I showed them Episode 1, Episode 2, they didn't really get it. Well, it's because those were setup episodes leading into the action of the series. Now you have an action-packed episode. If you show them this episode, regardless if they don't even know who we are, they'll understand a lot of the gaming references to Metal Gear, Call of Duty, and that stuff. This is the one to show them, so please tell everyone, tell your friends, spread the word again. This is something that's word of mouth. We're not really mainstream promoting this series, so please let everyone know about the series and watch Episode 3, and watch Episode 1 and 2, and watch the trailers, and watch everything else. Of course, now I'm just view hogging and view begging, so I'm just kidding. But thanks a lot for watching the Weekend Preview. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you for gameplay this week. Peace.